Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11.
And a very pleasant good evening to everybody. Welcome into Home Track Heroes here on the CW11 from Evergreen Speedway. My name is Caleb Hart. Chad Fitzpatrick, our guest in the booth this week. And Chad, welcome back. You know, cameo appearance in last year's Home Track Heroes. And going to be nice to have some driver perspective here tonight on the show.
Yeah, definitely going to be fun. Thanks for having me back, so I must be doing something right.
Right. Oh, it's either that or you just didn't screw up badly enough that we had to say, ew, no more Fitzpatrick. That's
exactly.
Terrible. So
we still got time.
We do. That's right. We've got a full packed-in show tonight. A lot of interesting divisions, a lot of variety to be had as well. And as has been the case, as is the way that April goes sometimes, we've got some weather to battle tonight as well.
What could go wrong? We got buses, we got street stocks, we got, all sorts of different classes with the wet and dry track. What could go wrong?
That's right. So Ghost Energy Drink Night here at the Raceway. Multiple divisions in action, including the Interstate Batteries Youth Hornets. We'll also see the Outlaw Figure 8 division, the Superstock Figure 8 division. That's the Monroe Grocery Outlet Superstock Figure 8s. The Street Stocks are in action, brought to you by Tire Pros, as well as the INEX Legends for $2,000 to win in a big main event coming up. Oh, and we'll finish the show off with the buses on the Figure 8 course. Who doesn't love buses on a Figure 8,
Of course,
right?
and we got fireworks, too.
And there was fireworks.
Yes,
I don't know if
right.
we're going to get some time to show fireworks because
that is true.
We had a very busy, packed-in night. There was a good chunk of race cars, and we've got a lot to get to. So let's start things out. Interstate Batteries Youth Hornets are coming out and onto the speedway right now. They're going to roll around our 5th mile, and they got a long main event for a change. You know, previous years, we'd only run them for about 20 laps around. This time, they're going 30 circuits on the short track.
That's a pretty big deal. When you add 10 more laps to a regular main event, that is a lot of time to either catch up to the leader or lose to the lead. So it'll be pretty fun to see exactly what happens here.
For these young men and women going out there, it'll be a bit more of an endurance than what they're used to, but let's see how the field shakes out. Your lineup looks like this. On the pole, that's the 95 of Andrew Zachary. Next to Zachary, the 11, that's Keegan Mooney, sponsored by Crossroads Towing.
On the inside, car number 7 is Blade Kaler. On the outside, car number 31, Lila Mashburn, sponsored by Olympia Pizza.
Third row, a couple of drivers who have been here before. It's 65 of Bryson Wingfield, sponsored by his papa, Tony Hill. And that is Tanner Bjornson in the 01. Bjornson, sponsored by Misfit Motorsports.
In the number 8 car of Jacob Funk, outside him, car number 32, Sawyer Holden, sponsored by LB Motorsports, a third-generation driver.
That's right. We will see another one of the generations a little bit later on in the Legends division. Tail end Charlie is Paisley Bender, who was your quick qualifier, sponsored by PRCBD. That is in the JBR black and yellow number 18. So, a look at the gorgeous, brand new Speedway Chevrolet Evergreen Speedway pace car. New Camaro. That thing looks awfully good as this field's getting set and ready to roll to action.
Absolutely beautiful pace car, and I believe the 1 to go signal's out. We're going to get ready for the first main event for these youngsters of 2023.
Watch them form up and get side by side as they go. Now, up to this point in the evening, Bender, I believe, has a clean sweep going. Heat race winner and quick qualifier. So, 2 of the 3 legs done. Paisley's got to hustle up from the back of the field in 9th, but a lot of time to do it as the green flag is out in the air, and we are underway with our first feature of the night here on Home Track Heroes.
As we go into turn 1, it was Andrew Zachary taking the lead as we got the 65 of Bryson Winfield making a good run move, and here comes the 01 of Tanner Bjornson, and we're going to go yellow.
Yeah, quickly, something not so happy as far as that start went, so we'll restack them, re-rack them, and give them another shot. But as we take a look and give our cars a couple of seconds, Zachary shot out of a cannon. Very good acceleration on that, and that is a skill to be developed within the Youth Hornets, is how to quickly get into the gas and build yourself some advantage on those restarts.
It definitely is. That's what I love about watching the Youth Hornets this time of the year, because you definitely get to see how they improve throughout the year.
How hard was it for you to figure out how to get the right amount of acceleration versus grabbing for gears going through your career as you developed as a young driver?
Hornets were probably one of the worst to do that because I didn't have Youth Hornets. We were in regular Hornets. As we're green again, and Andrew Zachary grabs the lead one more time. We're thinking about 3 wide once again, and Bjornson out on top under that battle.
Yeah, Bjornson made a very smart move there. Saw the gap open up, and this time, full send in at corner number 3. Almost a little door banging through the middle of the corner. 1 of 30 complete, and Bjornson takes over the lead. That's Zachary in second, and the red, white, and blue 65 of Bryson Wingfield in the third spot as they're 3 wide back in the pack for 7th.
Yeah, we got Paisley Bender making that inside groove work for her as they're still trying to decide just a whole gaggle of cars right there. as they go 3 wide in turn 3.
Meanwhile, Bjornsson washed out apex of the corner in turn 4, and that allowed Zachary to come back and retake the lead. So 2 laps, leads changed hands already, 2 different leaders. Bjornsson driving in hard to try to get back in on him, but same kind of problem that he had the last time around. Middle of the turn, car not handling for him, and that allows Zachary to get away.
Yeah, especially right where he's going through. It's, throughout the whole day, it's been dry and then it's been wet, back and forth, back and forth. So this is kind of some of the worst conditions you can run because you're trying to see, and he's doing it exactly again. He's going in the corner to see what he can get away with, and he's starting to figure it out.
You can see Zachary running a very wide line through the turns as well. We'll monitor that more as already Paisley Bender threatening for third. So from deep in the field and knocking the door for third place already coming to 5 laps into this. Look how wide Zachary is taking these corners. Let's watch him go into one. Cuts in way down deep. It's almost like he's driving the track like it's a little 5th mile tri-oval at this point in time, huh?
And at this point, whatever works for him. The rest of the cars have been dealing with a loose condition. He's the only one dealing with a tight condition. In this kind of condition that you're driving in right now, it's probably best with a front-wheel drive car to have a little bit more of a push condition than a loose condition.
You had mentioned the conditions on the racetrack, and you can see that patch right in the middle of the back straightaway that still has a bit of standing water on it. Wingfield driving through it right now and bringing Holden in with him. So Zachary's exit off of 2 that's taking him so wide is keeping him out of the wet and keeping those tires dry, which is another advantage.
Exactly. When you race in these kind of conditions, you start to figure out what's the best line and how you're going to get through. And right now, Andrew Zachary is making that work right now. And here comes Holden to the outside.
Making it work on the far way around the racetrack. Wingfield committed down on the bottom of the speedway as we're 8 laps in. Still 22 to go. Good chunk of race to go as Holden in his first Evergreen Speedway experience. Looking very good, trying to roll around the outside of Wingfield. Your leader into the back of the pack and traffic. That is Mooney and Kaler lingering right ahead of Andrew Zachary.
As he's doing a great job trying to figure out a way to get around the lap traffic as they both go to the bottom. And now they're side by side in front of him. He goes way out wide, and here comes Bjornsson to the inside. He might make it work this time by.
He made up all of that gap that was in between him, and now the short path around the racetrack open for Bjornsson. Zachary going to continue to try to go way up and around, and you've got a new leader coming out of turn number 2. Right place, right time, Tanner Bjornsson.
Exactly. He saw what's going to happen right in front of him, and he pounced it. He's up on top right now as the lap cars are still in the way. And, we got the 11 car just missing the Uke tire. Great job of missing that, as that was some good heads-up driving by him.
That might actually be a benefit for Zachary, depending on whether or not the 11 of Mooney can get fired back up and underway. Because if this goes caution, which, well, they're pointing at the corner, now he'll fire it back up right in front of your leader. Bjornsson gets underneath and gets away, so it ends up being a big break for Bjornsson, who now has multiple lap cars and a lot of track position in between himself, second, and a rapidly closing Paisley Bender in third.
Yeah, she's coming in quick as they're 3 wide again. She's looking to the inside of Andrew Zachary. We'll see if, a little bit of contact. He keeps it going.
Backed out of it and let him regather it back up. Paisley will restart her attack, tucking into the bottom of the racetrack here in our first and second corners. And there's Zachary again, pushing way wide in the turn. And boy, there's a lot of power in that JBR 18 as Paisley going downstairs trying to make the move again for second.
Can't quite make it happen as this track is starting to dry. I'm starting to notice Andrew Zachary's car is starting to get a little bit more and more tight, and that was okay with it being wet, but now since it's drying out, it's actually more of a hindrance to him now.
This time it's Bjornsson pushing way wide in the corner, doing so, helping him get around Kaler to put him a lap down, but you look behind him, Bender, windshield wipers not flying, at least at the moment, working her way around Kaler, and we'll see now if she can track down Bjornsson, your race leader, and complete the sweep of the evening, or if it's going to be Tanner Bjornsson playing spoiler.
We got the 95 of Zachary going around, but he actually kept it going, and the lap car will actually pass him back. But as those two were battling, I was starting to notice they're actually catching the 01 of Bjornsson as that was going on. Normally it's the opposite, as Zachary goes way out wide, and he makes it happen again.
You're right, that gap between your lead 2 has narrowed very significantly. Bjornsson out front. It's down to a half straightaway advantage between himself and Bender. Bender, again, has been to victory lane. She knows how to get the job done. Bjornsson, a veteran of the division himself, looking to pick up win number 1 in the first main event of the year here for the Interstate Batteries Youth Hornets.
And one thing about these drivers, as she is coming in fast now, is these guys don't have radios. They're on receivers, so it's all mirrors to them. And once they get even closer, it'll seem even like they're even closer with the mirrors. So she's down to a car length now. Bjornsson messes up a little bit. Now they're down to the bottom.
Paisley Bender with a nose on the inside of Bjornsson as they work into turn number 1 through a little wet patch. You can see that sitting on the bottom of the corner getting in. Bjornsson made a good turn, got away from Paisley in a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact there, and I think that's what made him come out on top. But now he's getting a little bit, he's starting to go down to the bottom this time, so he's going to protect the bottom. And now I think the only way to get around him now is going to have to be the outside.
Well, we'll see how adventurous Paisley gets. Like you were saying with the mirrors, object and mirror may be closer than they appear.
Exactly.
Coming down the back straightaway, Bender to the inside shot right in the left rear corner panel. Bjornsson hangs on, Bender backs out of it. We continue to stay green flag here.
Yep, about car length separating them both. We'll watch and see what happens as we got, it looks like a battle for that third spot between Andrew Zachary and the 32 car of Sawyer Holden. As he goes way out wide, gets a little loose, saves it.
New spot, yeah, new third place, though, in the process of Holden. I was about to say, I still like the line that Zachary's running. He carried a lot of speed in the corner, just the handling has gone away a little bit mid-turn, and that's what cost him.
Yeah, when you do that a lot, you're going to, as he's doing it again, oh, he went in too hard, and he'll spin himself around. We'll watch and see if we'll get a yellow flag this time, as we got all sorts of traffic for our leaders up front as they're going to get around the 11 car of Keegan Mooney. Again, we're now yellow.
Yep, caution flag flew, and that might be the best news for Bjornsson that you can see is you want to be able to attack this and run your absolute best line. As it was, Bjornsson was starting to get into heavy traffic. That means decision-making mode out there. And if you're in the seat of Tanner Bjornsson, a lot easier to just run your best line possible and try to make Bender get around you as opposed to having to deal with lap cars.
Exactly. It's going to be full speed ahead for them, and it's going to be completely clear for them now with only, I think we have about 10 laps to go. And we've already ran, last year would have been a regular main event for them now, so this is their final 10 laps now.
Yep, a little more endurance necessary. The veteran driver's not going to be used to this. For the new drivers, okay, cool, we'll do a 30-lap main, no big deal. So Bjornsson brings us back to green, and there's Paisley sneaking around to the kind of the middle groove going into the first and second turn. Bjornsson's going to hold serve through the first 2 corners and down the back straightaway into 3, which is almost always the action corner for the Youth Hornets.
Exactly, and I think what she's trying to do is just kind of sit back and watch because she knows that 3 and 4 is his Achilles heel. He gets really good speed as we got the 7 car going around Jacob Funk. We stay green, I believe. Yep, he gets going. We'll watch and see what we got up front, and still about a car length separating. He'll get a little loose through the center, not this time.
Well, it means that traffic's going to be a factor here. Bender swings wide to the outside, but Bjornsson clears the 7 before they get into the corner. That's a huge benefit for your leader who did not get caught out in the middle groove through the turn. Now Bender started high, almost diamonds the corner off to try to exit lower than Bjornsson, but Bjornsson playing some serious defense and holding the top spot with 5 to go. Glued to the low groove, telling Bender, you want to get around me? Go outside.
And I applaud both of those drivers. That is some of the best race I've ever seen. As he goes up a little bit higher and through 3 and 4. But just the patience between both of them and the respect that they're giving each other, too. That is fantastic to see at a very young age in their very young racing career.
A little bit of bumping is necessary, and you see a ton of it here at Evergreen Speedway, but the difference is when Paisley's gotten into him, which just happened right there into the rear bumper cover, she doesn't continue accelerating all the way through. She backs out of it, lets him regather, and then comes back after him. That is very sportsmanlike.
Exactly. As he still has about a car length lead over the 18 of Bender, as she goes right next to the back bumper, and she has a good cornering speed, but he just gets her off the exit.
I wonder if she's going to be willing to try to carry the outside around 3 and 4, because that's the one place we haven't seen her stick yet. She's going to try this time.
She's trying right now.
And, boy, they're door panel to door panel for a second. Bjornsson thought about taking it a little wider to play some defense, but he ends up squaring the corner down the straightaway. One more try for Bender as we roll down the backstretch.
Yep, as they're almost side by side. She was thinking about it as they go into the turn 3 for the final time. A little bit of bumping, a little bit of grinding, but not enough time. Out of turn number 4, it's Tanner Bjornsson. Second spot will be Paisley Bender, and I believe third, Sawyer Holden, his first main event.
That's right. Way to podium Sawyer Holden in your very first Evergreen Speedway run. Let's throw things down to the podium, the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium, and Derek Todoroff.
Now you worked your way through the field, capitalizing when you could. What was it like taking home third place on opening night?
I mean, it feels good. It's my first ever race ever, and the car felt really good.
Just for everyone here in the audience, how old are you?
I'm 12 years old.
Who would you like to thank for your performance out here tonight?
I'd like to thank my mom and dad, my Nana and Papa, LB Motorsports, Clearview Moto Crew, Holden Development Group, and Weatherite Roofing.
Driver the number 32, Sawyer Holden. You're no stranger to up here. Took home second place tonight. You had that great battle with Tanner. What was that like?
Very fun, good start to the season.
Drove the 18 from the back to the rear. What is the secret to that Youth Hornet car?
A good line.
All right, and who would you like to thank for your performance out here tonight?
JBR, Joe's Racing Products, Coxville's Racing, PRCBD, 2.5 Men Barbecue, Stride Line Socks, yeah.
Driver the number 18, Paisley Bender, second place in Youth Hornets. All right, Tanner. I know it might feel like ages ago that you drove that car to a first place finish, but you were holding off the number 18 who was hard charging. What was that like looking in your rearview mirror?
It was pretty nerve-wracking because I thought I was going to lose it out of the corners.
You kept your composure, kept that car steady. What was the secret there to finally figuring out how to keep that car in line?
Just driving it. I let it slide out of the corners more.
And who would you like to thank for bringing that orange 01 to victory lane?
Whiteside Steel, Stilly Auto Parts, Olympic Embroidery, my dad, my mom, my grandma, and everyone else that came out here today.
Driver the 01, Tanner Bjornson, won your youth.
Welcome back to Home Track Heroes here on the CW11. Thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening with us. I'm Caleb Hart. He is Chad Fitzpatrick. The co-points leader for the Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late models in an 11-way tie, Chad Fitzpatrick. Yeah. As we move on, let's get some figure eight action. The Monroe Grocery Outlet Superstock figure eights are coming up for a 30-lap main event in a division that's looking like it's going to get some growth this year.
It has. We have 13 cars on the track right now, and we had 15 show up, so it was a great opening night for these guys. On the front row, 67S of Mike Stelz, sponsored by Metro Construction Corp. On the outside, the JE55, Jessica Wilkinson.
Row number 2, Sheridan Vincent, the Siskin Power Equipment. Number 43, he's out of Darrington, Washington. The 11 is Blaine Manning, sponsored by B Happy Carpet Cleaning.
The 01, the Grizz, Doug Delfell, sponsored by Mazda of Everett, going on year number 49 of figure eight racing. Outside of him, car number 58, Chuck Wittes, sponsored by Wittes Drywall.
How about this for a row number 4? A couple of veterans that we haven't seen in super stock figure eights in a while. Cowboy John Carlson's drawn the 5-car ride this year in the Mary Stilling sponsored one. The Battle Wagon returns, running for Bill Fleischacker in the 36. It is Steve Peters, sponsored by Sound Stump Removal.
Car number 49, Calvin Miller, sponsored by Northwest Poly Services. Outside of him, car number 72, Jeff Talbert, sponsored by Pilchuck and Heating.
The 6th row, Chris Southard in 76S. Next to him, Mackenzie Dietz, the BECU, sponsored red and black 67.
And all is lonesome out back, car number 66, Rick Jones, sponsored by Winter Speed Shop in Berrien.
So 13 cars, 30 laps. That means after a little bit, this intersection's going to get populated and fun. We look forward to it. It is the most dangerous intersection in the world.
And something new this year. This is actually not a full invert. Normally this class is a full invert, but tonight is an 8-car invert. First time ever, from what I was told. So this will be very interesting.
Puts a really, really fast guy in Stelz right on the pole. That is a good position for Mike. He's going to be happy with that, not having to peel his way through the rest of the field. It also gives Wilkinson a good chance to battle with him. We've seen Jess lead some laps in the division before, so great opportunity for the JE55.
Oh, yeah, this will be very interesting to watch. And I believe we're going to go green this time by first time in 2023 for the Super Stock Figure Eights presented by Monroe Grocery Outlet, as 67 of Mike Stelz goes to the lead.
One heck of a jump by Stelz as they're going to go side by side for second. Give it to Wilkinson early. And there's Manning in the 11, pulling right next to Vincent, looking for an early third and a chance to try to track down your top two. But man, Stelz early, building that lead to a very nice, comfortable margin.
Yeah, he's starting off in a tear right now as we're got a battle. It looks like the Grizz Doug Delfo getting a little loose. And the 5 car, the Cowboy John Carlson, will take advantage of that situation. He'll break into the top 5.
Yep, from row number 4, he's already picked up 3 positions. That's a heck of a run for Carlson. As you can see, the hood just kind of flapping around on Telfeld's car, and he is taking a right-hand turn into the pits already.
He was having a bit of a struggle during the heat race. He broke a brake line, so it might have been related to that issue, as he's going to retire early in this one. But up front, it is Stelz, and he has about 10 car lengths over the 55 of the JE 55 of Wilkinson, as we already got some traffic in the intersection.
Yeah, that's going to make things hairy early and often. First look from the in-car camera, and we've got a, perspective Calvin Miller getting in and around. Got a little shot at the front end. Gasses her back up and gets it going, but a unique in-car look because you had a car going around right away as we switched to it.
Yeah, that was close, as Calvin Miller almost got in the 67 of Stelz, our leader. As we'll watch and see what happens here. I think this is what's going to happen with these smaller inverts, is we're going to get a lot more traffic in the intersection early now.
And you go a step further than that with what we're expecting to be bigger fields overall as well. Big invert, more intersection traffic early and often. Frankly, it's figure 8 racing. That's what the crowd comes to see.
Exactly, and they're doing a great job of that right now, as Stelz still up front. None of the really issues that have happened so far in the track have hindered him, as we'll see the 5 car, the Cowboy John Carlson, still in that 5th spot. Blaine Manning in the 6th, and the 58 of Wittes in 7th. As we go through the intersection one more time, that time it was a little bit clearer for Stelz.
It's fun to watch who decides to gas it and go for it versus who woes up. And that time, Stelz kind of woed up a little bit before he went in through the intersection. That costs him time that he can use to try to build up that advantage. Carlson's got another spot coming off the North Pole, as there's the big whoa up from Stelz. 3 cars coming through the intersection. He split it beautifully.
Great job driving by all of them, because the other person that was involved with that was the 76 of Chris Southard. He's never raced before, so he's doing a fantastic job right now going through the traffic in the intersection. Oh, a little bit of a love tap through the north turn between the 11 car and the 43. No harm, no foul. We'll keep going.
Meanwhile, for second, it is Wilkinson and Carlson, and there's the little tap at corner entry that is very familiar within this division. They're both trying to run down Stelz. Stelz approaching Southard again, and that's a car that actually works out of the same garage as Mike does. Mike's car, Southard's car, and the Fleischacker car, piloted by Peters, all kind of a group operation in building these super stock figure 8s this year. So teammates, but one of them's about to get lapped by the other.
Exactly, and now we got the the J55 going around the 76 as well. Jessica Wilkinson doing a fantastic job holding that second spot, kind of holding everyone up, but she is doing a fantastic job as she goes into the south turn, and the Cowboy trying to find every way around to get around her, as we got a battle for that 5th spot between the 43 and the 11 car.
We've had a really good view of this second place battle, and as it's gone on, we've had 4th and 5th on our screens multiple times, with Steve Peters starting to get involved. Side by side for second between Wilkinson and Carlson. Carlson with the inside lane trying to get into the south pole. He will retain it. Down low they go, number to number as they cross the intersection with no traffic coming, and Vincent trying to follow him through. That is a good race for second. A little contact pays dividends for Carlson, who squares the corner. Meanwhile, Vincent around and takes 2 more with him, including Peters in 36 and Manning in the 11, and we get our first caution of the event.
That was a very unfortunate thing for the 11 cars. He just had absolutely nowhere to go, and you know what? That's figure 8 racing.
It is, and you can see from this angle, there's some problems on the right rear corner of the Manning car. Here's a look for the in-car picture, the in-car perspective of Steve Peters. And Peters, 11, slowed up all of a sudden, had nowhere to go, and munch right into the back of it. And you can imagine that kind of strike, that impact. Suspension definitely going to be hurt on the back end of that race car.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully the rear clip might be still straight on that car. But great job to the 43 so far in that main event. That was only his first main event in that car. So, you know what? First time out, it happens.
That's right. Well, he'll have a chance to work back from the back of the track. We get ready to go green flag racing and let you know this segment brought to you by Angel of the Winds Casino Resort. They now have sports betting. Think you can pick a winner? Prove it at Angel of the Winds Casino Resort, the only home for sports betting north of Seattle. Exit 210 off I-5 in Arlington. And right now, it's been a relatively safe bet to bet on Stelz as he's controlled this race, but now the Cowboy is unencumbered and coming after him.
Yep, we got a little bit of trouble. Oh, Wittes hard into the tire, and we got the J55 going around, and we will go yellow once again.
Wow, I didn't know Chuck Wittes hated tires that bad. And then he tags Jones
yeah,
as they're idling in and around. That was a strong strike of the Uke tire, and 3 drivers affected by that in Wilkinson, Wittes, and Jones in the 66.
Okay. That didn't look like that was going to end well, but luckily they both stopped.
Well, cooler heads end up prevailing on that one, and you got to wonder, because it was just out of our picture, if Wittes going into the Uke tire didn't have something to do with Wilkinson. Maybe she got into him and accelerated the cars going through there. Either way, tough break for both drivers who were having decent main events.
Exactly. And Wittes did hit pretty hard, so I think he's probably done for the race.
Like all kinds of stuff that can go on the front end when you head on into one of those unforgiving, merciless Uke tires.
When you're racing late model cars in a figure 8, these cars don't take a hit like their old cars that they were used to. As we go green once again, and the 67 will be in command of the lead once again.
It's weird, though. A lot of them have gone to running late model-esque style bodies on the car as you look at it, right? Stelz had debuted that car last year, and it's got a lot of late model looking pieces on it. Go back in the field, Mackenzie Dietz put a whole new body on the car she calls Scarlet this year, and it turns out very well, but you can see the curves, the profile of it. It almost is like late model adjacent at this point.
Exactly. They could probably join next week.
They could. That'd be different.
Yeah.
I mean, only turning one direction might get boring for them. But
It might be.
at the same time, come on out. It'd be great. So Stelz with Carlson right on his rear bumper cover, and that's Jeff Talbert with a really good run in third, and Steve Peters giving him a little bit of room. I mean, Steve is not afraid to muscle up and get up on somebody, but so far so good. Those top 4 tightly packed.
Yeah, it's a 4-car breakaway right now. As our last year's Rookie of the Year, Jeff Talbert, having a fantastic run. He did make it on the podium once last year, and he's looking to possibly do the same, as he's got a multiple time champion behind him, and many time figure 8 nationals and 60 Minutes of Fear driver behind him, and he's doing a fantastic job, as that tight pack is getting even tighter now.
Well, look at this. Talbert's actually got an opportunity to pressure up on Carlson in his new ride. So that's an interesting battle for second. Talbert, the 72 has got some tradition here at Evergreen Speedway as well, running that to honor his dad. As they roll around the North Pole, it's still Stelz out in front. Second, Carlson in the blue and red 5. Third, Talbert in the red, white, and black 72. And fourth, the camo-colored 36 of Steve Peters.
As we are just a little bit past halfway. And I've actually, the few times I've raced figure 8s, I have been in Mike Stelz's position in a heat race, not a main event. And it gets quite, how would I say this? I guess it would be pretty stressful when you're looking in front of you and trying to look at the intersection as well.
We'll talk about that more in just a couple of seconds as you're watching a battle back in the field. And that is Calvin Miller in the 49 car trying to make his way to the inside. And he's making a move on. Is that Wilkinson there?
That
he's
is
putting
Wilkinson.
Down? Yep, so Wilkinson's still going, bringing Vincent with him. And Miller, jack of all trades, guy who is very good in every race car he jumps into, has made another pass. Take a look back at your battle for the lead, and you can see Stelz kind of washing out mid-corner and giving Carlson a run for him. Carlson running him really clean. So here's what you were talking about out here, Chad. Stelz, coming off this corner, has to worry about Carlson behind him. He has to be looking to his right in order to make sure he's got a clean intersection shot and be ready to set up and hit his correct braking zone to get into the South Pole, which is a pretty tricky corner unto its own.
Oh, exactly. There's so much to do in these figure 8 cars as we go on board with the 5 car of the Cowboy John Carlson. And actually, looking behind the 67, the body's kind of mounted high, just exactly like a late model, so it's kind of hard to see in front of him if you're trying to look in front of you as you go through the intersection, as we're going to get a little bit of traffic, and we'll watch and see what happens this next couple laps between that traffic.
So the in-car video from John Carlson in the blue and red 5 that you see on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. From the top view, you can see Stelz doing a good job of keeping that corner entry blocked off. It's the mid-turn that he's opening the door. Carlson's going to have to figure a way to get the car underneath him at the center of the corner if he wants to get side by side with Mike.
Exactly. It's one thing to get up there, and then the other thing is to pass him, especially on this track, left and right, left and right. So it's definitely a talent to do that, and I applaud every single one of them that go out here every week to do this.
Kudos to all 4 of them as well for racing each other very clean so far. We haven't even seen the typical mid-corner bump that you get a lot out of in the not only super stock figure 8s, but the outlaw figure 8s as well.
Exactly, and we go back to the 67 of Mackenzie Dietz, I believe, running in that 5th spot. So we'll watch and see. It looks like the 66 of Rick Jones getting loose, and he finds that Uke tire.
Uke tire is unforgiving and merciless. They're pointing to him. We're still green, at least for the time being.
He's trying to get it going, and he does get it going right in front of our leaders. I think he'll get out of the way to not be a hindrance at all, and he does. As I think we're going to be working on 5 laps to go this time by.
It's actually going to cost Peters a little bit because Peters had to take a little bit wider run into the North Pole than he wanted to, and that gave Talbert a little more room to play with. We'll see if Jeff takes advantage and tries to roll up on Carlson to make a move now that he's got, a bit of car space between himself and the 4th place Peters, who's been coming strong.
Yeah, so when you go a little high, especially right now, because there's only pretty much one groove to run right now, because that's the dry groove. So if you go up half a car length, you're in that wetness, and you get a little bit loose.
We've been lucky in that it's been dry for most of the afternoon here, and that's helped us get the track in a drier condition than what it is. Now, your leader, Stelz, Carlson right behind him, and the intersection's starting to get intense. We're down to the very nitty-gritty, though, as that we are single digits left to go. In-car picture is coming from Stelz out leading the pack.
Exactly. It looks clean and clear out in front right now until he gets to that intersection. And I believe, this is going to get close, and Jessica Wilkinson just narrowly goes by, and about less than a car length between the 5 car of the Cowboy John Carlson, and Talbert hanging in there as well. Peters has kind of drifted back a little bit.
Got to be careful if you're Stelz. You can't hiccup the throttle too much because that's going to give Carlson a chance to maybe pull even in that intersection if he gets aggressive. Comes off, manages to hang his way into the throttle pedal, and we're down to 1 to go this time around, as there's your leader, Mike Stelz. Cowboy Carlson, Jeff Talbert, 2 and 3 right there in case he messes up.
As they go into the the south turn, Stelz goes up a little bit high. I'm pretty sure that was by design because he shoots out of a cannon coming out of this corner as they go into the north turn for the final time. Not even a tap, maybe a little bit, but out of turn number 4, it is Mike Stelz with the win. And we go the 5 car of Carlson and the 72 of Jeff Talbert in 3rd.
Good race, clean race, as Peters 4th, Dietz 5th, and I'm going to hustle. They're doing donuts. Time for me to go talk to your top 3 down on the Angel the Winds Casino Resort podium.
Well, Jeff, considering the work you have put into this car in the off-season, rewards with a podium finish here on night number 1. Tell me how it happened.
Luck. Everybody kind of moved out of the way. I went in and stayed out of all the wrecks and the stuff that was going on, so that's how I got there.
Did a fantastic job of keeping your nose clean. It seems like that top 4 was packed in tight for a long time. You right behind Cowboy and Peters right behind you. Did you feel the pressure both in front and behind?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Peters was letting me know he was there, and I wanted to keep up with Cowboy as much as I possibly could, so I just kept my foot in it and hoped I didn't spin out.
Awfully rewarding considering how much hard work you put into this thing in the off-season, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a whole new look. It's a whole new design. Tracy DeYoung did an amazing job on it. We did a whole new body, as you know. And, I love it. It was great.
Anybody else you need to thank?
Pilchuck Heating, my wife, Stephanie's Hope, Hold On Paint Ends, and my whole family for backing it up.
Great job. Way to start the year.
Thank you.
Jeff Talbert takes over 3rd in the Monroe Grocery Outlet Superstock figure. John, what a killer night of racing in that class. Nose to tail for about 30 laps. It took you a bit to get up to Stelz, but when you got there, you gave him everything you had.
Oh, yeah, I had a lot more there, but Mike was running really fast. Short of, like always, putting a bumper to a guy and knocking him out. But we'll take a 2nd place for the first night in the car. Throw a shout out to Mary and Mary's Towing. Chris, he brings the car out. So it's kind of a special deal this year, but it looks like I'm going to be driving this car all year this year.
So you're telling me we're going to get a lot of Cowboy action in some Superstock figure 8 racing, huh?
Yeah, you know it. Double duty a couple of nights this year.
That sounds like a good time. It seems like in the South Pole there was a time or 2 that you got to run to the inside of them, but you couldn't carry that momentum to the outside of the North Pole. Is that what you felt?
No, I was sticking my nose in there trying to decide if I wanted to really push in there. Mike got out a little bit, left a little opening, and trying to decide whether or not I really wanted to push that issue. And since I had kind of a bugger of a heat race, I decided to save it and just go with the 2nd place for the night.
Well, you raced him like a gentleman. Kudos to you, and congratulations on the great finish to open your year up.
Thanks, and hope you guys enjoyed it, and here's to the rest of the season.
He is the Cowboy, John Carlson, with the runner-up tonight. The Outlaw, Mike Stelz, takes the trophy on opening night. Feels like you and I have done Victory Lane on opening nights and times before. This one means a lot because you got a lot of pressure in front of that field.
Oh yeah, you know, they did that stupid invert thing, and I don't know why they do it, but figure eight racing, the fast guys should be in the back every time, and if they invert, it put me on the pole, you know, so I had to go with it. That's what the track wanted, so that's what they got.
You took it full advantage, building a pretty decent advantage to start with. It didn't take too long, though, before Carlson got up to you. How much pressure did you feel from behind over the course of that race?
I knew John would race me clean. He's not going to bumper you up to get by you. If he can't do it on the outside, he's not going to try. And I know if I just kept it tight on the corners and got ready for that bump coming into the corners and slow her up, and I had it.
It seems like you had that thing dialed in, at least like for about the first 20 to 25. Apex of the South Pole a couple of times late, got a little wide. Was it the car going away from you, or is it just, oh my God, long race?
Yeah, I think towards the end of the race, that little bit of rain, it really sucked for that last restart, but I think it was a lot to do with the rain.
It was nice that Mother Nature gave us a dry enough track, though, for you guys to get out there and really show what you could do.
Yeah, after watching last weekend's race, it was like, God, I don't want it raining.
Well, I'll tell you what, you've got a lot of people who have helped you get here. You've got some great sponsors who have been behind you for a long time. Why don't you take a second to thank them?
Yeah, like always, I got to thank my guys. I got a whole crew of guys. We built 3 or 4 race cars this offseason, you know, get a rookie out here in the 76, and they've been over every Tuesday and Thursday night working on cars like a bunch of good old buddies from school.
You did great. Congratulations, and I'm sure the first of many appearances in Victory Lane for you this year.
Oh, yeah, we got to run 5 whole races last year, and I think we won 2 or 3 out of the 5, I don't know. But I got to thank Dan Rena at Metro Construction Corporation, Scott Mann at Central Welding. He helped me out a lot this week, and all the guys, Formula Tire, they helped me out a lot. Give a shout out to my buddy Timmy Ploak. He's got a Mac Tools truck, just started his route. You guys need some Mac Tools, let's get him on your route, and he'd take care of you.
Your feature winner in the Monroe Grocery Outlet Superstock Figure Eights, Mike Stelz.
You're tuned in to Home Track Heroes here on the CW11. I am Caleb Hart. He is Chad Fitzpatrick, and it's time to put up some big bucks. It is an INEX regional race for our Legends division here at Evergreen Speedway. It is a very talented field of cars, Chad, and they're going for the big money today.
Yeah, this is a big main event for them, so we got a good field of cars, so let's get started.
All right, Mike Holden's got the pole. Weather Right Roofing number 30. It's Kyle Lang, the Phillips Law Firm, number 33. That is a killer front row for this one, first and second.
Car number 42 is Chris Belanca. Car number 37 is Mason Nelson, sponsored by TriMed.
Row number 3, Gabe Sessler in the Mazda of Everett, number 66. And next to him, the 4-time and defending division champion Chad Sinner in the 11C, also a Mazda of Everett sponsored car.
In the 2M, a Jeff Mueller. The 51Z, John Zaretsky, sponsored by McMullen Construction.
Row number 5, Dakota Gruchala. Car number 27, Weather Right Roofing Incorporated. And it's Davis Jacobson starting in the 10th spot. The 15D, sponsored by Evergreen Concrete Cutting.
Car number 13, Jeremiah Johnson. And the 30, B, Braden Wager, sponsored by Dirt Cheap Sewer.
Then you got the 68 of Kaylee Decker, Joe's Tree and Timber LLC. Scott Center, that's Chad's dad, in the 15S, sponsored by Terrific Towing.
Car number 76, Josh Velock. Outside of him, car number 22, Robert Zimmerman.
Row behind them's Gabriel Guevara in the Frost Towing number 4R. Tristan Pizzoni in the Grandpa Mike sponsored 27T is going to be next to him.
Car number 98, Aaron Flett, sponsored by Kent Collision Center. Outside of him, car number 29, Dennis McMillan.
And the final row, it's Samantha Schwartz, the Sharps Transportation number 40, and Bella Luce in the 55. What a talented field out here, Chad.
Big field of cars, 22 cars, 30 laps. There's a lot to go through here, and I believe we have an 8-car invert as well, so this will be pretty fun to watch.
It was certainly interesting early in the day. Qualifying took place with some drizzle coming down. John Zaretsky, the veteran, takes full advantage of that. Now, we know he's fast to begin with. He also won his heat race running away with the thing. So, John has shown himself to be very, very quick, but this racetrack is mostly dry now, so we'll see how that affects the drivers and what lines they're going to take over the course of this feature.
Exactly, as when they were racing, or I'm sorry, when they were practicing and qualifying, it was wet. So now they're going about probably 2.5 to 3 seconds faster than what they are used to all day. So this will be pretty interesting to watch. I believe they're going to give them a couple extra laps just to kind of see where the water is, because it is almost dry, but there are some spots that are still wet.
You've got excellent recall when it comes to this. They were 24 seconds ish when they were time trialing. That sound about right?
23, 24.
23, 24. Yep. And your top two in time trials in Zaretsky and what I actually think was either Sessler or Sinner out there.
It was Sessler, I believe.
It was Sessler. Was only a couple of tenths of a second off, so there was a couple of guys who were right there. Now we're expecting lap times sub 20, possibly.
Oh yeah, I believe we'll probably hit the probably the 18-second bracket, so probably almost 4 seconds faster.
Yeah, they're cruising. We're gonna get a look from the inside of the Centermobile. No, actually, this is inside row 3, so that's gonna be the Sessler car.
I believe that's Chad Sinner, because it has the Mazda of Everett on the front.
Aha. Well, the inside row was lagging behind coming off the corner to the initial start, so things a little bit disjointed, but we'll get this up and away. Two Mazda of Everett cars doing battle into turn 1 between him and Sessler on the outside as we are up and running, and looks like Mike Colton from the outside trying to take the early lead.
Exactly. That was what we saw earlier in the Youth Hornet was his son getting third, so he is the second generation of this of those racers as they're thinking about 3 wide going into turn 1, Zaretsky, Sinner, and the 15 of Jacobson. No harm, no foul as they're side-by-side for the lead going into turn 3.
That is a fantastic battle. Nose to tail now in through the center of the corners. Holden's trying to make the middle work. It's Lang down on the bottom of the racetrack, digging hard, looking for opportunity to take that top spot, but those two setting a wicked pace and not letting each other go.
Exactly, as they're still somewhat side-by-side as they go into turn 3. They're single file now, but they're still, I believe, trying to decide who's going to run in that 7th, 8th, and 9th spot midway through the field as we got the 30 car. Now we'll resume the lead.
So line change from Holden. Holden drops down to the bottom of the racetrack. Lang going to go up to the top side of the track. Line change for him, and actually looks like it picked up some speed going high.
Exactly. What I saw coming out at 2 was Holden dipped his left front tire in that water and got him really, really loose, and the 33 was able to pounce on that as they actually got a little bit slower now as they did the exact same thing this time by, and now it's a 4-car breakaway for the lead.
The big difference being is that Holden did not duck into the puddle downstairs that time around. He managed to hold through, but it's going to be Lang occupying the top spot. That's Belanca making the run to the inside. Belanca looking low on Holden. Holden trying to fight him off, and Gabe Sessler, first night in the 66, right up on there in the battle.
Yeah, Sessler doing a fantastic job as all 3 of them got in that water. I think when Holden the first time dipped that left front into the puddle, pushed some of the water up, so they're struggling to get through that turn 2 as we got the 33 resuming the lead as Sessler trying to get around for that 3rd spot.
Let's look backwards a little ways. That's 5th, 6th, and 7th. The 11 of Sinner, the 51 of Zaretsky, and the 2 of Mueller all getting after it. And Sinner trying to clear from that pack and get his nose up to the front of the feature where he can get to battles. We're going to have our first caution of this race. Around is the 55 of Belarus.
So at the beginning of this race, we've already had, about 4 lead changes already?
Yeah, just about. It's been intense up there, real tight impact racing, and you can see the drivers within this INEX Legends package, because these cars are all very similar. They all come from the same place. You've got to run the same engines in them. Basically, the only variation you have is coil spring rate, air pressure, and this year, a different shock package that's available. But other than that, it's here's your race car, now go beat each other based on talent.
Exactly, and with that kind of rules package where it's all the same, makes it very fun to watch.
Well, the declaration cone is out, the choose cone, while these drivers are choosing what they're doing. We'll tell you Busch Beer is the official beer of NASCAR, the one you should choose, as well as Evergreen Speedway. Busch Beer, the sound of refreshment, crisp and cold as a mountain stream. Keep your fridge happy by stocking it with Busch and Busch Light. Busch. So they're making the choose cone, and basically what happens here, you're picking high or low, and you're going to be in line where you're in line no matter what the other people choose. So let's say you decide to go high and the 4 people in front of you all decide to go high, you're going to be 5th in the outside line no matter how many people have chosen the inside line at that point in time.
Exactly. I've done this before, and it is very, very fun. If you're a driver that likes to go on the outside, you generally choose the outside. If you don't like to do the outside, you choose the inside. There's many, many ways that you could hinder yourself and also make yourself better with these types of situations.
If we had the heavy wet that we were experiencing earlier, these drivers like to be up on the high side of the racetrack. You would expect that outside line to get a little bit longer.
Exactly. We probably would have only seen maybe 3 or 4 cars go to the bottom if it was wet.
As is your top 6, stays your top 6 in a lot of realm. Zaretsky might have been the first one to kind of pivot from anything as he's inside row number 4. He's going to try to get way down to the inside on Sinner, and Sinner using the front bumper to push around Belanca coming out of the corner. No harm, no foul. Everybody stays driving straight and through. The race for third between Belanca and Sessler might be the best one up at the top 10 as we've got all kinds of lines being used and a really strong pack trying to work forward with Zaretsky trying to make the move low.
Yep, Zaretsky's going to try to go down to the low side. Gets a little bit squirrely coming out of 2. Sinner with a good power move down the back straightaway. Can't quite let Zaretsky get around him as here comes Mueller possibly looking to the outside as well. But right now we're single file all the way around as we are about 1 or 2 car lengths separating second and third.
Kyle Lang is taking the opportunity to finally establish this lead and roll forward as he's opened up a decent little advantage on Holden, who's got some space between Belanca and Sessler, then Sinner and Zaretsky. Your top 6 has kind of been that top 6, what we expected going forward. Let's see if any of them can separate themselves and make a run at Lang, who's just developing a wicked quick lead. And I'll tell you what, Chad, this is about as fast as I remember Legends ever looking before.
Oh, exactly.
They're quick.
Yeah, with these types of racetracks. And now we got a spin in turn 2. Mueller goes around.
He was 7th at the time.
As we got, I believe we went yellow. As, yep, we are officially yellow.
Well, let's hold that thought. We'll talk a little bit more about what looks like this speed that these Legends have picked up because we need to take a look at what happened to Mueller there in the corner. Give it a couple of seconds for Mueller to pick up and... All right, here we go. So we'll watch him. He had faded back a little bit and hooked up and around and down to the inside. Lucky that he didn't get any more drivers coming after him. One more look from the outside. Mueller loops it out. We've got more INX Legends main event on Home Track Heroes coming up next. We're back here on Home Track Heroes on the CW11 from Evergreen Speedway. He is Chad Fitzpatrick. I am Caleb Hart. It's been a fun Legends A feature so far. We're still relatively early, but Kyle Lang has shown himself to be the class of the field as we're getting ready for another restart.
Yeah, this will be fun to watch. So far, we've had 4 lead changes, so this is going to be quite fun.
All right, so we're going to take you in cockpit with John Zaretsky in the 51 car, your quick qualifier and winner of one of the 2 heat races as they come up to the choose cone, the declaration cone, the decide cone, however the heck you want to name it. We'll figure out something to call it at some point in time.
Yeah, we got all year to figure that out.
That's right. Heck, we got the rest of this race to figure it
Exactly.
out. We got time. So he goes to the outside line this time. Front row doesn't change, and you would expect that, at least with the conditions right now, 1 and 2. If one goes high, the other should probably go low, right?
Exactly. Probably more towards the mid-pack is where you might see more of those changes, or right up front is where we'll probably see that.
Yeah, you're not going to want to give up a row by any means, right? When you have it available to you, just trust your ability to start and restart and make the car handle where you need it to.
Exactly. So the 1 to go. Lights are off on the Evergreen Speedway Chevrolet Camaro pace car.
As you're watching, so we're on board with John Zaretsky, the black 51. He's trailing Gabe Sessler, beautiful looking 66. Sessler's behind Mike Holden, who's been running in second in the white car, and Kyle Lang, the black with white, number 33. He is setting the pace through the low side of the racetrack, right down on that first hash mark, as they'll pick up the throttle and they'll go green.
Green, 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 as every one of their spotters should be saying right now as they go into turn 1. Everything looks good right now as they're thinking. It looked like they were possibly thinking about 3 wide as a little bit of a love tap to the back end of set. Oh, and we got a hard hit in turn 2.
Wow, cars around big time. That's the 4 of Guevara, and I believe Dakota Grachala's 27 car. Guevara first night after a move up from the Hornet division. Grachala we've seen in a couple of different race cars before, and here's a second look at it. Into the corner they go. Watch the bottom right-hand turn of your screen. Oh.
Just nowhere to go for Guevara. That's probably one of the worst situations you could ever be in. So we'll just hopefully they'll get those cars fixed for next week and come back out again.
Passenger side door shot, and again, nothing you could do there. Car just coming down racetrack out of your control. So hopefully both drivers will be able to get her fixed back up and they'll be out here the next time the INX Legends run. But for right now, their night's over.
Exactly. They got a couple weeks. April 29th is their next time out.
All right, so we'll go back to the track. We'll see what everybody chooses to do on the decision cone, which is coming out right here on the front straightaway. As again, you see the pace car out there. Should let you know this segment brought to you by Coastal Community Bank. At Coastal Community Bank, community is our middle name. Our bankers take time to understand your business and help move it forward. Coastal Community Bank, an equal housing lender, member FDIC. Well, no laps complete there.
Nope, we're still on the same.
That's right. So 20 left, 1/3 of the race down, and looks like your front row stays exactly as was. Lang low, Holden high, and the skies, they're darkening a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like that shade of pavement is starting to unfortunately change and become a little bit shiny right now. So this will be a little bit interesting to watch now as this race continues.
So you, pro late model driver, you don't race in the wet conditions, but you've driven in divisions before where you do. Have you run a race before where the rain starts coming down mid-race while you're out there?
Yes, it is awful.
What does it do to your strategy?
Survive is all you can do.
Okay.
When the track is hot like this and now the water gets on top, the oils are coming through the surface, so now you got oil and water to drive over.
Oh boy. So it's counter steer, hang on for dear life. Probably a lot of throttle control, right?
Exactly. A lot of throttle and brake control as we're going green this time by.
You saw the in-car from Zaretsky, and that gave you a look at how twitchy these cars are to begin with. So if you can imagine, short wheelbase, twitchy car, a lot of power, and now a rapidly changing surface that's getting slick. As there we can see example number 2, Samantha Schwartz is 40, and
I think that's Decker.
Yep, Decker 68 is the other car over there in the corner. And you can see just from that shot as we're getting a replay, there's a mist. You can see it in the lights that's coming out there. So these drivers, the inexperienced drivers, are really going to have their hands full with this because they haven't seen a changing track condition like that, much less have a lot of time in the wet weather.
Exactly. Like what you just touched on earlier, these cars are very twitchy, and then you add all those conditions, it's going to be a lot of learning for them in this next 20 laps for them.
Add in the fact that some of them have made the shock package switch to the new AFCO shock that's on there, and dealing with new grip, that's got to be a nightmare as they come to the choose cone.
Oh, exactly. And right now it looks like not everyone... Okay, we got looks like one car going down below. I unfortunately can't see who that was, but looks like everyone else is kind of just going back and forth.
Well, your top 6 kind of stayed unchanged, so once we get that doubled up view, yeah, your top 6 is still your top 6. I actually think that it was Mason Nelson who might have picked up a couple of spots, that white 37 car on the outside of the 4th row. And smart, go where they're not. If you're comfortable in the lane you're starting in, absolutely take that opportunity and get the free spots.
Exactly. And since unfortunately the rain might be starting to fall right now, the high groove is where you want to be now.
We talked about that earlier, and there's a lot of logical reasons for it, but gravity's the biggest one, right?
That's all it is. It's gravity.
So the water runs down racetrack, pools at the bottom of it, meaning that the top stays drier per se than the low side, making it easier to run.
Exactly. A lot of drivers don't like to run up high because it has more of a chance of going off the track. So a lot of people will still try to go down low, as we're going to go green with the 33 and the 30 to the point.
Once again, the battle between Holden and Lang is on. Lang, that car looks fairly grippy down there still, so I don't know that the low side's gotten super wet yet. It's coming. That cloud and that dark is still sitting here, and if we had another shot kind of the lights, there's a good look at it from the turn 1 cam. There's that mist that's coming down, so that bottom is going to get slipperier, but Lang manages to get past Holden, get into the lead as it looks like Sessler's taking over 3rd from Belanca and bringing Zaretsky with him.
Yeah, Zaretsky and Sessler, the two men on the move right now. Sessler and that Matt Pioli own number 66 Mazda of Everett machine as he looks to the bottom to go into second spot between the 66 and the 30 of Mike Holden.
Looking to bring him with as Holden's now gone up racetrack to find a little more. And Zaretsky goes spinning the wheels. Did he hit the puddle down there?
He did. And now the 15 of Jacobson gets in the back of him, and they both keep going. And Sessler still trying to get around into that second spot.
So Sessler, a.k.a. Mr. Itch, that's the nickname, remember that.
Okay.
A lot of different experience. A go-karter, dirt-focused midget as well within his resume. And he's very, very familiar with weird racing conditions. He's taken to this legend very well. Let's see what he's got for Holden, who Holden seems to be getting a little rhythm and trying to reel back in Lang.
Yeah, I'm starting to notice that too. It looks like Lang's car might be really good at short run speeds, and Holden's might be better on long run speeds.
And
is what I'm starting to see.
Any idea what might be causing that? Tire temperature?
That and possibly the shock package as well.
Okay. Well, Holden caught, drifted back. Now Sessler getting in on him. That's for fourth that we were watching. And Holden, I think he just went skittering up racetrack again. Same puddle?
I believe it's that same puddle, but I'm also noticing almost all the cars are doing that coming out of both corners now. So it's starting to get a little bit slippery as we go through this main event, as Holden trying to get that outside groove to work for him, as Sessler still got a little loose coming out of 2, not as bad as Holden that last lap.
Give credit where credit is due. Chad Sinners worked his way to fourth past Belanca and is just taking him where he can get him, and he's trying to roll in on that front pack as well. This is Kyle Lang leading with 13 to go in what's been an entertaining INEX Legends feature. Again, a regional race, they're putting up $2,000 for the winner in this one, so big money for the Legends. And Kyle Lang right now is trending towards victory as we're down to just 12 more circuits around the 3/8.
Yeah, as we go down to 12 laps to go, Holden and Sessler still battling for that second spot, and Lang's up front just letting them, you guys just have at it, because when they keep battling for that lead, he's going to grow his lead even bigger.
And praying that this race just stays green, because he hasn't had to, up until now, deal with slower cars. He's going to get into them right at the back of the pack, and you want to get into them with this kind of pad, because that allows you the option to make at least one mistake.
Yeah.
Probably no more than one, but one.
Yeah, just one. As it looks like now this lap cars are actually going to help Holden, because there's 2 separating him and Sessler now. Make it 3. It'll be 4 probably this lap now. So he has quite a bit of a blanket now in between the top 2 cars.
Yeah, Lang's doing a really good job of navigating that slower traffic and putting them in between the cars that are chasing him for position. We're on board again with Zaretsky in the 51, who's caught back up after that boo-boo. He's working to the inside of Sinner for a spot. Sinner dropped a spot to Belanca. So now Zaretsky back to the inside. He's up on Belanca, and Belanca not all that far back from Holden, who he's looking to get underneath, and Sessler ahead of him. This pack got tight really fast.
It's getting tighter as we speak, as it looks like the lap car, I believe that's a 55 of Belarus, will go and get out of his way. But he's doing a great job, Zaretsky that is, just staying with the 42 of Belanca. And it looks like the 30 car is struggling to get into that top 3 now.
We might have got a little respite from the weather, as the racetrack doesn't look like it's getting too terribly slick, at least right at the moment. Now things can change at the drop of the hat. Belanca has nosed ahead of Holden. Holden trying to battle back, and you can see the margins are awfully slim between the 2 of them. It is Zaretsky in the 51 trying to go knock. JZ entering the chat now.
And look at the 42. He is just struggling big time. And then actually not just him either, as he'll go, the 51 of Zaretsky will make that pass on the 42 of Belanca. But look at the 30 of Holden, too. He's starting to get really loose. Look at that twitchiness that you cannot see from the grandstands.
Definitely not. Well, turn 2 a long ways away and kind of flat comparatively when you've got an angle on it. So we're going to look at Kyle Lang, the man who is just out by himself, enjoying a nice stroll amongst the Legend main event. For position further back, Mason Nelson underneath Chad Sinner. He's got another spot. Well done, Nelson.
I believe that's for the 5th spot, maybe 6th spot, as we got the 30 of Braden Wagner as well, doing a fantastic job as Zaretsky gets by the 27 car. I believe that is Dakota Grachella, the 27 car that's out on the track now.
So that was Pizzoni's 27 that had gotten in that wreck earlier.
Yes.
Cars are kind of similar-ish, although little small 27s, there's multiples of them. We're going to screw one up.
Exactly. We're only human.
That's right.
As Zimmerman spinning and into the tire, we got the 37 of Nelson around 2.
Wow, okay, so multiple things happening. Zimmerman's 22, Nelson, who was up in the top 10, battling for a spot, and that's going to give us another look at this choose cone, and again, it's going to pack this field all tight together. At this point in time in the race, too, you might start seeing lap cars out into the back of the field and let the leaders race for the win.
Yes, I believe in the Legends, all leaders or all lap cars to the back with a certain amount of laps to go. So they should not be a hindrance.
We're about to see that come to pass as there's a look out in the back of the field to the Grachala 27. Decker 68 back there. We should be seeing the front of the field square around and come by at any point in time.
And I believe that's Decker's second race. She's also a third-generation driver out here as well. So we'll watch and see. I think I didn't see the cone out this time.
Well, most of them are already doubling up some form or fashion, so either they chose and have gotten her going, or Whatever, we'll go with it.
Exactly.
Right, yeah, we're just the announcers. We're going to just be easy and light on our feet. And hey, they're doubled up. Cool, we'll go race. So up front, Lang low, Sessler is chosen high, Holden low, Zaretsky high. And in that third row, I don't think Nelson, if Nelson spun, they may have gauged him not involved in the spin that caused the yellow. That might be why he's got his position.
I think that might have been what saved him. The yellow was already out, but it looks like Belanca on the inside, Wager and Chad Sitter on the outside of the fourth row.
Call it a get-out-of-jail-free card for Nelson.
Exactly.
Hey,
Those don't happen very often.
but sometimes luck works for you. Lights go out. Let's bring them back to green. It is Lang once again with Sessler and Holden kind of stepping out of line, trying to get down and deep on the inside. Maybe make that sneaky run to the inside of the corner, but he couldn't quite get enough momentum to do it.
And Sessler hanging on to that second spot, and it looks like we got a battle between the 40 car of Samantha Schwartz, who I believe did not even hit the track until the main event because of the rain. So she's doing a quite good job making her way up to the front as well.
First time we've seen her all day, and it's in this main event here for the INEX Legends as we complete another lap. Now 3 to go. Lang, Sessler, Holden, still your top 3 as we watch the back of the field fanning out single file.
As Zaretsky has gone around, and it looks like Decker just barely misses Zaretsky.
Yeah.
And we got Jacobson joining the fun, but he doesn't hit anyone as well. So that was a great job of heads-up driving by everyone there.
Well, that stinks for Zaretsky, who had a top 5 run going and was looking very, very strong. Let's get a look from a couple of different camera angles to see, and boy, it's awfully misty out there from that angle. is it
Yeah, and
not?
where he hit on the backstretch, you could see that puddle come up. So it looked like a little bit of that rain from the day, as the day went on. It looked like he hit some of that leftover rain puddle on the backstretch, and around he went.
Well, over these last couple of laps, we're seeing some more cautions come out. Some of the guys in the front of the field having trouble. Some of them in the back of the field having trouble. Let's see if we can get 3 straight. Come on, put them together, get them all done, because this race starting to get a little long in the tooth as far as the division goes. Back to the track we go. Choose cone out in effect once again. And one of our drivers out of the top 5 now gone. And boy, look how shiny that front stretch is getting.
It's getting shinier, and it looks like the 42 and the 30 chose low.
That's going to give, I think it's Nelson again.
Look at that. 3 more cars chose low instead of high.
Interesting.
Decker high.
Lot of moving around as far as the lines go on this one. In fact, we might see a fairly uneven line for the first time because that low groove appeared to be vastly more popular for some drivers not wanting to risk go to the high side of the speedway.
Exactly. So I believe, so what happens now is you'll get the cone, and then the next time around you get the 1 to go. How it used to be was you got the 1 to go and you double filed, but now we added the cone.
Okay, so take a look at it, right? That inside row is 7, 8, 9 long, where the outside row, then they're chirping at him on the receiver. No, you chose high, you stay high. You chose low, you've got to stay low. So some drivers might be getting counseled when they come back to the pit area, because originally that inside line was 8, 9 deep, but the outside only looked like 4 or 5.
Exactly. So as we're going to try this again, out of turn number 4, Lang and Sessler, and we are green.
First one went to Lang. Sessler trying new stratagems as we're coming through, but boy, Lang's still really good on the inside of the racetrack. Now Sessler's keeping him within a car length as they enter turn number 3.
Holden doing a great job holding that 3rd spot. And we got a caution once again. I believe that's Schwartz going around. Everyone looking to dodge.
You gave her the commentator's curse, Chad.
I did.
You said what a great job Samantha Schwartz is doing, and then all of a sudden, you put the whammy on her.
It's my fault. Everything that's happening now is my fault.
You might owe her a Chad Fitzpatrick t-shirt or something.
Okay.
Available in your pit area after the races?
Very soon, yes.
Excellent. All right, good. Just might as well get
Samantha, come see me.
All right, so we are going to take a look at what happened, and as we do that, we're getting ready for a final timeout. We will be back with the thrilling conclusion of this Legends A main event next here on Home Track Heroes. Well, we are getting to the very tail end here of this INEX Legends feature here on Home Track Heroes at Evergreen Speedway on the CW11. I'm Caleb. He's Chad. Car's been out there for a little while at this point in time, Chad, and I say this, the weather is playing a factor. We've had that cause a couple of the spinouts that we've seen out there, but on top of that, this is a big race. It's a regional race. It's $2,000 to win. We want to give them all of their allotted laps. It's starting to get to the point where you can see a driver spinning out down the front straightaway here on a pace lap. So it's getting awfully strange. Let's see if we can get these last couple of laps in, because the drivers have been in the car for a while. We want to give them their shot. but let's see if they can do it.
Exactly. It's, like you just said, a lot of money on the line. Starting to possibly rain. You could see that puddle starting to show a little bit of droplets coming from the sky and the lights. And
Yeah.
all these drivers going for that win. And it looks like the 33.
Oh, goodness. Well, I just alluded to it. We've had those cars out here for a while, and yet there is a minimum weight requirement on them. I wonder if to get to minimum weight, if that tank didn't get filled all the way with fuel.
Yeah, it's very, it could be a possibility. We'll just have to watch and see what happens. And it looks like Zaretsky was trying to push him out of the way.
So you look at it, right, Chad, and you've done this long enough, there's a couple of ways to make your car go mechanically faster, right? Build more horsepower. Well, they're all on, I'm going to say a crate engine, but they're all on the same engine. They have the same horsepower. Or make the horsepower you have work more efficiently for you. That means lighter rotating weight, lighter weight overall, and one way to do that, a gallon of fuel is 7.5 to 8 pounds, somewhere in there. I don't remember the exact number, but every bit that you don't have off there is weight off the race car, which makes it easier for your motor to power the car, be more efficient, and gain speed. So if Lang didn't fill all the way up, trying to pick up those necessary pounds to get more speed, it just bit him in the butt with 2 to go in a race that he was leading.
Exactly, and I think we're going to start to find out maybe soon if there were other drivers that did that for the main event as well. And I believe we're not going to change the lineup. It's just going to, the one row that he was in will move forward.
Well, the field had chosen already and had formed up, so that would make sense. Cascade Push Truck Association giving Lang the bump back to the pit area, and that puts Sessler in the catbird seat now. He was running second, and the get-out-of-jail-free card goes to Holden, who's now inside row number 1.
Exactly. That is a great move for Holden. So it looks like now they'll put Belanca in third and Chad Sinner in now the 5th spot with his dad right behind him now.
Mason Nelson on the outside of the second row's got a top 5 going. Lights out, and here they come off the corner. You can see coming through the turn.
Getting a little loose already as we are green. Everyone slipping and sliding. We already got a caution in turn 4. Well, we haven't gotten caution yet, but I can't exactly see who spun out. I looked about 2 or 3 cars.
Yeah, I can't imagine this is going to stay green too long. You see the crossover move from Holden down the back straightaway, but those cars didn't get through. So,
looks
yeah.
like Decker and Bella Luz have spun out, bringing out the caution once again.
So again, long race gets a little bit longer, but we've had a big change up in the front of the field, and we're going to get a second try for Holden and Sessler to start next to each other, going for the big money.
Exactly, and the other thing is that was a good break for Kyle Lang because they could fuel up now for him.
Yeah, without losing any laps at all.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll come back to it. Let's get the field formed up 2 by 2 once again, and we're quickly going to go to green. Off the corner, Sessler, Holden, down the straightaway. Oh,
Sessler going around in front of the whole field. Looks like the 30 of Holding. Oh, and the 98 of Flett just tagged him.
oh, goodness gracious. So another caution out, and that was outside row number 1. Your prospective race leader, Gabe Sessler, on the start as it continues to get wet. So Sessler that time, and almost looked like Holden might have gotten up into that rear corner panel as he got around. Goodness, it just gets even more challenging. Maybe you don't want to be out the front of the field because our last 2 race leaders have now ended up off racetrack.
As of right now, nowhere is safe on this racetrack. So it's just kind of the last couple laps, if they could just survive, we'll just watch and see what happens.
Slippery and twitchy. It's an interesting combination and big money, so guys are really gunning for it. Let's try it again. Pace car is off.
Notice who's in row number 5 now. Lang.
Yeah, back out of the pits with some fuel back in her. And we are green. Can everybody play nice and get into one? It's Holden down on the very bottom. Nelson tiptoeing around the top. Belanca, Braden Wager in there. So Braden Wager, we haven't talked about him up in the front.
And look at the burst of speed, the 11 car. And we got another caution. We got the 98 of Flett and the 40 of Schwartz. We are not yellow. We're actually not yellow. We stay green.
And
still
we're yellow.
We're yellow.
Yeah,
now.
we're yellow. Oops. Well, we'll come back to the booth and let them fire back up and go to the back of the field. So that's what, 4 tries now
I
on
think
lap
we're on
28?
3 or 4 now.
You know, a green-white checkered restart is the most exciting 2 laps in racing, except for the 4th time you do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a legitimate thing, unfortunately. But we're trying. We're trying to get these guys races done. We want them to. We don't want to just throw an artificial checkered. We want them to earn it. So this segment, by the way, brought to you by Interstate Batteries. For all your battery needs, cars, trucks, vans, or electric vehicles, Interstate Batteries, your one-stop shop for flashlights, cell phones, even key fob batteries. Visit Interstate Batteries in Everett.
As the green flag flies, as we go into turn number 1, the 30 car will resume the lead. Nelson, Blanca, they are just tiptoeing. You do not want to get hard on the gas and hard on the brake as they're side by side. Look at Blanca with the burst of speed as they go into turn number 3.
Blanca making the strong move down to the inside. Car washes out something serious. We might get a lap in here. Look at that. Oh, white flag's out. I almost cursed us. I'm sorry.
Oh, we're still
my
good.
bad.
We're still good
All
as
right.
they go into turn number 1.
Stay clean and green, baby. That's all we're asking. Holden with the lead. One big run from Wager down on the inside. Sinner on the high groove.
Sinner spins it.
No.
Oh, no.
No, stay going. We're good. Checkered, baby. Checkered.
We're still checkered flag.
It's
Holden.
done. Woo. All right. Holden wins. Wager 2. And Mason Nelson somehow for 3rd.
Yeah.
All right. I'm good with it. Race over. Angel of the Winds Casino Resort Podium with Derek Todoroff.
Well, Mason, I can safely say that when we talked pre-race, I didn't think it would be that long of one. You held it together, bring it home 3rd. What is it like to do that here on opening night?
Honestly, after that one, I don't really know what to think. Through the ups and downs for that race, honestly, I was just trying to finish, but we got into that thing with a couple laps left, and then you see everyone wrecking in front of you. You just want to drive a little quicker and hope your car sticks just as much as theirs didn't, but I don't know.
Now, you were in around that 6th, 5th place position coming out of turn number 4. Can you walk us through what happened through there?
I saw a bunch of smoke and hit the throttle. Honestly, that's all I really did.
And one last question. Who would you like to thank for your performance out here tonight?
I can't remember them all after that one, but I just want to thank Ava Cannon Real Estate, TriMed, Elevate Racing Media, Joe's Racing Products, Winter Sportswear, GoPro, and then my whole crew, my mom, dad, Matthew, Rick, and all of and then my baseball team, of course, they came out to support me.
Driver of the number 37, 3rd place tonight, Mason Nelson. Oh, man. Now, you played strategy all night long, inside, outside. You took advantage of the choose cone rule, but no one else did. Who was helping you through that?
Francesca and Colin King, Dirt Cheap Sewers, Purcell Tires, Central Welding Supply, my mom and my dad.
One more thing. You seem to have amassed yourself quite the fan base. I saw them cheering when you came home 2nd. What would you like to say to them?
Thank you all for being here to come see this, and I hope you had a good night. And one more thing, I'd like to apologize to Chad. I got a little bit sideways and corrected and accidentally dumped him.
Driver the number 30B, this is Braden Wager. It is said that consistency is the name of the game, and that's what you were tonight. Walk us through those final few laps.
It went from dry to wet to downpour. You got a little of everything in this race. Bumping and banging. The last few laps were tough. Didn't know where to start on the inside or outside. The outside's better if it's wet, but the inside is safer. So it was a challenging race to finish off.
You drove that number 30 perfectly, but you contended with some good ones up there. Walk us through those battles, round 10, 15 laps with the 33 of Kyle Lang.
Well, I don't really remember what happened the last lap, so but these little kids are flying out here. Sometimes I forget that they're only this tall and maybe 13, 14 years old, and they're doing great out here. I mean, awesome racing with Lang. We were side by side, and he was holding his line, was sliding, coming off the corners, and he's a great racer.
Who would you like to thank for bringing that 30 machine to victory lane?
Oh, the Thompson family, LB Motorsports, Weatherright Roofing, the Clearview Moto Crew, and all the fans out here.
Driver the number 30, first place tonight, Mike Holden.
Been a good night for the Holdens here on Home Track Heroes. Congratulations to that family. They got a podium in the Youth Hornets, the win in the INEX Legends. And let's go to one of the divisions that was one of our highlights last year. We had incredible racing in the Tire Pros Street Stock class. A lot of new faces, though, this year coming up for their 30-lap A-main event.
A bunch of new faces. I believe we got about 3 or 4. Starting on the front row, the 69 car of Austin Kemp, sponsored by Ad Taxi. Outside of him, one of the rookies, car number 28, Gene Watson, sponsored by SE Snohomish County Trucking and Excavating.
Travis Bliven, new face. You see him in a Legend, now a Street Stock. Car number 27 next to him. Steve Potasic, the former track champion in the Seattle Auto Works, number 06.
Car number 3 of Jesse Jensen, sponsored by Tire Pros. Outside of him, our defending champion, car number 41, Mark Hubbard, sponsored by Interstate Batteries.
It is Chevy Vincent in car number 43. Sponsor is Siskin Power Equipment. Mike Shimmick, new face to the division in car number 7, sponsored by Big Block Brewing.
And car number 17, after a 21-year layoff of the street stocks, he is back. Car number 17 of Billy Decker.
Very cool. We had 3 drivers also show up but not make the call to this, and they were...
That was Tony Deegan. He unfortunately didn't make it, along with Kenny Erickson. He suffered a crash in practice, and Jeff Watson was unfortunately not able to make it for the main event as well.
All right, so use your powers of remembrance, of which they're very strong on your end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that 17 Billy Decker car, is that the former Nicky Bristol Ford?
It is,
Okay,
yes.
All right. Look at my memory. That's not too bad either. So,
yes.
It's been a few years since that car hit the track.
I believe so.
And the only Ford in this field, if I'm right, too.
You are right.
Bunch of Chevys.
Exactly, bunch of Chevys. Most of these cars are actually Gen 2 Camaros with just different bodies on the vehicle, so it's kind of cool to see that.
Speaking of the bodies on the vehicle, how good does the Watson 28 car look?
Absolutely beautiful. I can't wait until you guys get to see it in a couple weeks.
Yeah, the vintage throwback look is mwah.
Oh, I love that.
It's wonderful.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
That's right. Your next time that you can be out here at Evergreen Speedway live, the street stocks will be in action. There's nothing like catching the races live. We love having you here on Home Track Heroes, but hey, if you can experience it for yourself, the sights, the sounds, the smells, right?
Everything that has to do with it.
That's right. Plus, covered grandstands. So, we've got those, 200, 300, 400 sadists out in the front getting rained on right now. But the rest of everybody is in a nice tucked-in, sheltered area to watch the races for. It's
exactly. This is some of the best family entertainment you can go for. It's 3 or 4 hour long show. It's perfect amount of time.
That's right. We're done by 10. It happens. So Jesse Jensen's the onboard in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. We'll watch him in the Cruisewick car. They were your opening night winner last year. In fact, opening night, clean sweep, and new track record, if I remember right.
I believe you're right.
Yep. So green flag out. We are underway, and Camp got a greeting, Bliven, right into the rear end of Camp to start this off, but he's going to drive away and hold on to the lead.
And they're thinking about 3 wide. Looks like Watson having a little bit of an issue as they go into turn 3, as Austin Camp will grab that lead. Potasic looking to grab the lead now from Camp as they go into turn number 1.
Potasic's got a really interesting looking paint scheme on that car. The neon orange down the right and the neon yellow down the left-hand side of it. Easy to identify no matter where it is on the track.
Exactly. The right-hand side is his buddy's Kevin Compton's side, and the left is the Potasic side.
All right. I like it. Good news and story that I didn't have there from Potasic. Yeah. And it looks strong, too. Not only does it look good, but he's fast out in front. He's developed a nice little lead over Bliven early.
Yeah, about a 10-car length lead. And remember, Bliven has not raced in this class before. That's a former Jeff Watson car.
Okay.
As they go into turn 3, nose to tail the whole field as the top 5 looking to be, looks like we might have a change for that 4th spot with Hubbard looking to the inside. I see someone pointing. I believe that's Decker that has spun in turn 3 as our defending champ will now look into that 4th spot as Potasic out front. That is a new build. It was a new build for him last year.
Okay.
That is actually, it was Jim Fode's old parts car that they built into a street stock.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it looks like we've got the 28 car, I believe, running now in the 5th spot.
Fode, a guy that we'll see coming up in a few weeks. Waiting on an engine still on that program, so he'll be another one that joins up in the street stock division, the very competitive street stock division.
He'll be one of probably about 4 or 5 more cars the next race. that will be ready for the next race here.
So Potasic with the lead and expanding it down the back straightaway 5 laps into this. And it looks like, just from the camera angles, we're actually starting to get that moment of dry once again. That might benefit the street stock division more than anybody else.
Exactly. As we look like we got a caution, the 17 of Decker has gone around.
So Decker fires it back up. We'll drive into the back of the field. We have got a whole lot more of your Tire Pro Street Stock main event coming up, so stay tuned. You're watching Home Track Heroes here on the CW11 from Evergreen Speedway. Well, we're just a handful of laps into the Tire Pro Street Stock main event here on Home Track Heroes. Thank you guys for watching on the CW11, making us your Sunday night entertainment choice. He is Chad Fitzpatrick. I am Caleb Hart, and we have got, 25 more laps of main event coming up here for the Tire Pros Street Stocks. An early race leader, and Steve Potasic looking awfully good.
Yeah, picking up from where he left off last year. So got the cone out now. We'll watch and see what happens. Potasic to the outside. Bliven to the inside. No change there.
Yeah, interesting choice. Potasic had been around the bottom of the racetrack by and large. So, again, right now I think we're getting a slight break, although there is some mist in the area, but you don't see that front straightaway being too super shiny right now.
No, it doesn't look bad right now, but it is some of the worst conditions you can race in, because right now I believe there's probably just a groove and a half to race with, and if you get out of that groove, you're hanging on for dear life.
So one of the things that we've seen in this class consistently, at least over the couple of years that I've been involved in the program, is Mark Hubbard's ability to get around the outside of the racetrack. You figure if this gets more wet, does that put Hubbard at a bigger advantage?
I believe so, because he lives up there. So when
Right.
everyone has to go up there, they're in his stomping ground, so there'll
Right.
be no issue for him. But as of right now, I think it is a hindrance to him, because he normally passes on the outside, and it's horrible up there right now.
Well, we'll take a look and see how it goes. Keep your eyes on that black number 3 car on the inside of the second row. Also, Flying Tire Pro sponsorship, so very cool
Yeah,
deal.
beautiful looking car, Cruisewick car. As we are green, as Potasic will be in command, but Bliven fighting hard on the inside. The rookie moving up from the Legend Division last year, as Potasic not able to get a good run as he probably thought going into turn number 3, as Bliven will take the lead coming out of 4.
Yeah, lead change coming up here on the restart. Potasic up on the high side and didn't take off like he wanted to. Now he's going to tuck her in back down low as that good battle for third continues between Jensen and Hubbard. Look at all the race wins and track championships that's sitting between positions 2, 3, and 4 right now on the Speedway.
A whole bunch, as it looks like we got the 17 car having a little bit of an issue, but he was able to keep going. But Potasic trying to grab the lead away from Bliven as they go into 1 and 2, and off of turn number 2, it looks like Potasic will resume the lead once again, make that number 3 on a lead change so far.
And 7 laps, that's the action that you come to expect here at Evergreen Speedway, and that gives a lane for Jensen to rumble up and through if he can make it stick. You look to the inside, but Bliven knows where his bread is buttered, wants to hang on to the second spot, and gets back to the low groove on the track to defend his spot.
Exactly, and as we go right now, Mark Hubbard has proven me wrong right now, as that outside groove is working really well for him, as I thought it was going to be an absolute mess up there, but it looks like it's probably dry enough to work for him right now, as we got the 3 of Jesse Jensen looking to the inside of Bliven for that second spot.
Jesse makes the strong move down to the inside, strings Bliven up through the middle of 1 and 2, and going to force him up there in 3 and 4 as well. So it is Jensen in second, in position to try to run down Potasic, and we are still early on in this race. 10 down, 20 remaining, plenty of time for Jesse to get her dialed in.
Oh yeah, he has more than enough time to get up to Potasic if he has a car to get up there, as it looks like we're still single file between the 1st and 5th spot, as the 28 of, I believe that is Gene Watson, also moving up from the Legend Division. He is doing a great job, and here comes Hubbard to the outside.
Hubbard starting to wind up that prop plane around the outside groove. Let's see if he can find the rhythm and the grip that he's so well known for up there, and there it is, right off the top of 4. Look at the launch that car gets as he's trying to get by Bliven. Jensen is right up on the back of Potasic all of a sudden, so we've got 2 very good battles in the top 5 going on.
Exactly, as it looks like Jensen has a whole bunch of, Potasic has a whole bunch of mirror full of Jensen as they come out at turn number 4, and it looks like Jensen was going to look to the inside, can't quite make it happen, and we got the 41 car still on the outside that probably makes about 3 or 4 laps now, that Hubbard's been up there, and he's doing a great job coming out of 2.
That back end swims just the right amount on corner exit of 2 to get the nose pointed straight down the racetrack so he can make a long straightaway on that car. And you can see it as he overtakes Bliv in 4th. It is Mark Hubbard up into the top 3, and now Jensen's losing a little bit of touch with Potasic, and it's Hubbard coming up and around the outside, and he is coming strong around the outside as Hubbard. He's going to take it. Oh, no.
We got a expired motor, unfortunately, for the 3 car of Jesse Jensen, as it looks like he will keep going.
Ooh. If you ever wondered what thousands of dollars at a time just going poof looked like, there you go.
We just saw it right there.
Yeah, that's it. This is going to be an expensive replay. Let's take a peek coming off the corner, and 1, 2, 3.
Boom.
Rice Krispies mode, snap, crackle, pop.
Exactly, and that was a kind of a odd-looking way of the car exploding the motor, because a lot of times you saw a bunch of it coming out of the exhaust pipe. A lot of times you don't see that, so it'll be very interesting to see what actually internally failed on that motor to cause that.
Well, what a rough run there for Jensen, who had been running so strong. And interesting, I had just remarked that he had lost a little bit of ground to Potasic, and then you saw Hubbard go from behind him to nudging up next to him to all the way side by side. You got to wonder if that motor was starting to lay down earlier than what the smoke showed.
Yeah, probably. Unfortunately for him, yes. And it looks like, I believe that is the number. I believe that's the 28.
Yeah, Watson.
Of Watson.
So, okay. Well, that's going to change things up in your top 3. That's going to put Hubbard right up on Potasic now here on this restart. That's going to be interesting.
Exactly. This will be very interesting to watch as we'll watch and see what happens on the restart. I'm sorry, on the cone. And I bet Hubbard's probably going to choose the outside.
Oh, I'd be shocked if he didn't. If Potasic doesn't choose the outside himself, he does have that option. So
He might, because he knows where Hubbard's really good at.
Well, had to take a little time, get a little speedy dry on the track, and Potasic is right now committed inside. As we get ready to go green, let you know Tire Pros, the official tire dealer of Evergreen Speedway. Tire Pros, your one-stop tire retailer where honesty is the best policy, and they have a hassle-free guarantee. Tire Pros has all the national brands and offers a nationwide warranty on your tires. Go to TirePros.com. Tell them Evergreen Speedway sent you.
And now look at the racetrack. It's wet again.
Which is weird. So moisture coming down out of the sky.
That never happens here.
Never. Well, we do live in Western Washington. But you've also got the Speedy Dry down, and the Speedy Dry is down on a big portion of the racetrack as well, so you wonder if the moisture from up top is making the Speedy Dry a little less effective that's going down and trying to soak up the oil.
Yeah, you're probably right. And right where it's at now is right where you'll be racing. So this will be pretty interesting to watch, as it looks like the 41 Hubbard was laying back. We got about 7 cars left on the racetrack, lost 2, and we got 16 laps to go. So we'll watch and see how this works on the restart. Hubbard on the outside. They go very, very slow through 3 and 4. Out of turn number 4, and we are back in racing as everyone tiptoeing into turn number 1. Hubbard on the outside.
You saw it there with Potasic's car, the rear end coming right through the Speedy Dry and just kind of sliding around a little bit on him. And there's Mark Hubbard up in the high groove where he likes to be, all nice and clean up there, and he is just going to cruise around Potasic and now into your race lead.
Yep, as they come out of turn number 4, he is now your new leader when we are halfway through this main event, as it looks like the 28 looking to the outside. That's a great job by the number 28 of Gene Watson. It looked like he just can't quite make the pass happen as they go into turn number 3.
This turn 1 cam is going to show us a lot. So we watch as it comes down and through, and there's Hubbard. See that car, wheels underneath him just fine. Everybody took it a little bit better this time, but the last 2 laps they've gone in, you've seen a lot of cars come off that corner and just fishtail a little bit out of it. And those are the guys who are not getting all their power down, who are not getting the rear end kind of stepping out on them. They're having to catch up to the race car coming off the turn.
Exactly. It will happen a lot in these kind of race conditions. I believe the 41 car has a crate motor, and I believe the 06 does as well. And that is a perfect engine combination if you have to race at the rain. Not a lot of horsepower compared to like a car out here with a small block 350 or a 406. So those crate motors do excellent in the dry, and they prevail very well in the rain too.
Yeah, they've got the right amount of power, acceleration, plus the weight break that you get for running the crate, that it makes it just right coming around the track. I believe it's a 100-pound weight break for running the 604 or 602 crate.
I believe it's a 50-pound weight break, but still, that's a lot for these race cars. And when you're driving in conditions like this with this rear-wheel drive car, I always told myself, or actually my dad told me this in the street stock division, pretend you have an egg underneath your gas pedal and your brake pedal. Don't hit it too hard. You know when you break that egg when you spin out.
Yep, and that makes it's not the first time I've heard that analogy, but it's absolutely great advice. And a veteran like Hubbard's going to have a massive advantage. You know, he's running the same car out there, I believe, as he did last year, same engine package. And we raced a lot in the wet weather in the early season in 2022, so he's going to know exactly what he's doing. It's fun watching the rookies here in Watson and Bliven working on the veteran in Ptacek. So Ptacek in second, and he has been under fire from Watson and Bliven now consistently for the past 10 laps.
Yeah, two-time champion doing a great job in that second spot. But yeah, we got Watson. He's got the Bliven as well. I think right now he's in defense mode. He's just trying to hang on for dear life, as it looks like that back end he's coming around, as it looks like the 28 had a way better jump coming out of turn 2 that time compared to Ptacek. And we'll watch and see what happens. Turn 4 seems to be a little bit different compared to when I used to race in the rain out here. Because the track was obviously not paved, so it's a lot different. But it looks like the 06 of Ptacek doing a great job, but they're picking up on the 41 of Hubbard now.
So how is it different from when you ran? You alluded to some paving and such. Is it shaped differently, or is the acceleration point different? What's new?
So the difference between when I raced on the old pavement versus now is turn 4 had newer pavement compared to the rest of the racetrack. So you came out through the middle of 3 and 4, and you hit the new pavement, and it would be really, really loose.
Okay.
Now the whole track is all new, so it's the whole pavement, or the same pavement. But when I raced it was different pavement through 3 and 4.
So there's no change in the grip of the racetrack, no matter what point of the racetrack you're on. I can imagine, okay, old track to new track, your car is not sticking as well on the old track. It hooks up to the new track when you get on it, and all of a sudden just kind of grabs you and launches you.
Exactly. That's what happened on the old track when we raced in the rain. It was quite difficult. But it looks like Hubbard is kind of, the 06 of Ptacek starting to close in on the 41 car Hubbard, who is no stranger to race in the rain. In fact, when they used to run super stocks out here in the early 90s, they used to run them in the rain out here.
Wow, that would have been wild. So your top 3 have broken away a little bit as these laps have clipped off. Hubbard has maintained and shrunk a little, grown a little. It's been roughly that same advantage over Ptacek. Watson is sticking there close enough to him. It's Bliven that's out of the picture and gone here at the moment. We'll see if he shows back up, as we only got 3 more circuits going around this next time by.
Yeah, and Hubbard's pretty much picking up from where he left off last year. Last year's champion. I believe he won in 21 as well. So a lot of credit to this gentleman up front, and the 06 of Ptacek, who is your 2018 and 19 street stock champ. So between both of them, I believe they have about 4 or 5 championships, and we got the 43 spinning around.
The pride and joy of Darrington, Washington ends up going to check out the grass in turn number 2. We're green. We're not green. Caution flag comes out around the racetrack, and we'll have to try it all over again. Let's take a look and see what happened to Vincent as he was coming through that second corner from the in-car shot.
It looks like just lost it. It happens, you know. When you're a rookie, that happens, and he still is doing a fantastic job. It just happens.
Yeah, and that's your best case scenario for a spin out at this point in time. You know how hard you can push it, and quite literally appears no damage on the race car as well. So no dollars coming out of pocket to fix that.
Exactly. That's kind of the nice thing about Evergreen Speedway on the 3. You have a little bit of wiggle room before you hit something.
That's right. So we'll go back. We'll see if we can finish this one off as we're down to single digits left. 2 to go, and there is the decision cone again as Hubbard, takes high. Ptacek's going to take low, following him through. Watson low, Bliven high. There's Camp. We haven't talked at all about Mike Shimmick. Talk about a rookie doing a good job. I mean, we haven't said, "Oh, Shimmick."
Yeah, and he's doing a great job. In fact, that's my old car out. He's driving my old street stock. So that car has quite a few championships under that belt. So it'll be pretty fun to see him improve throughout the whole year.
What was the make and model of that? Is it a Camaro?
That is a 1981 Camaro underneath the Gen 3 body.
That's like the perfect street stock, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Late 70s to mid 80s Camaros. Perfect.
I believe the only car in this race, the cars that are left, they're all Gen 2s except for the 28 car. I believe that's a Gen 3 underneath that.
Interesting. So, 7 cars left, 2 to go.
This will be very interesting to watch because if you look at the racetrack, it's starting to dry up again. So they have raced on 3 different surfaces so far
Right.
in the short 30-lap main event.
Mostly dry, mostly wet, and kind of in between.
Yeah. Ooh.
Well, we like variety.
Exactly. And they're doing a great job dealing with the different track surfaces that they've had to race on. As we are green once again, as they all go scrambling towards turn number 1.
Ooh, back in, tried stepping around a Potasek, and there's Bliven taking advantage. So
Look at him go.
That's right, like the Undertaker, rising up. He's back and into second again.
There he goes.
I wrote him off for a second. I shouldn't have done it. My bad.
Well, he's proven us wrong as they come out at turn number 4. I believe the white flag is flying. Hubbard, Bliven, and now look at the 28 of Watson now.
Nice.
Side-by-side battle between Potasek.
Nice run. Oh, Watson got squirrely. Can he gather it back
Oh.
up? Yeah, looks like he did, but that might get Potasek third as we come to the checkered flag. Mark Hubbard, unsurprisingly in the wet weather, takes the W. Well done, Mark. Second, nice run to the rookie, Travis Bliven. Give third to Gene Watson. Checkered flag flies, yellow lights come on, and, well, we will get a word with your winner, second and third as well. I'm sure they got a lot to talk about as this was a interesting race start to finish, and a lot happened, including 3 different racetracks they ran on.
Yeah, that definitely was. I applaud all of them for how well they did, and I applaud Gene Watson as well. That was a great move, and I'm glad he was able to save it.
To the podium with Derek.
Steve had a good car out there. What happened there on that final restart?
I took the inside, and it's just a bunch of junk down there. You can't get any traction, so got to go for the win, so didn't work out.
Who would you like to thank for your performance out here tonight?
Just like Kevin and Connor, Naaman, Lane for supporting.
Driver of the 06, that's Steve Potasek. From Legends into Street Stocks, give us a little insight. What's the difference between those 2 cars?
You know, Legends are just, they're a handful. If you can drive a Legend, you can pretty much drive anything. And if I wouldn't have got hurt last August, I probably would still be driving one today, but this was a safer option, so here we are.
Who would you like to thank for this second place position?
Stilly Auto Parts Napa, Premier Painting Company, Xander's European, and Ed's Transmission in Marysville.
Driver the number 27, Travis Bliven, taking home second tonight. Driver the number 41, he did a fantastic job out there. It was an interesting choice to take that high line on the restart. What motivated it?
You know, the bottom was just damp enough that I couldn't get down there. So I just said, you know what? I've been good up top all day. I might as well go there for the restart.
A move that paid off and got you the win. Who do you have to thank for that tonight?
I'd like to thank my wife, Galena, my mom and my dad, my brother for all his help at the shop, Jeffrey, Eric. Couldn't be here without the guys. I wish Jim could be here tonight, but he just couldn't make it. My buddies, Mitch. I'd like to thank all my sponsors, Mom and Dad, Rick's Tire and Chevron, Interstate Batteries, Truly Hard Seltzer, Hager Motorsports.
Driver the number 41, race winner tonight, Mark Hubbard.
I have been waiting all day for this. Home Track Heroes here on the CW11. I am Caleb Hart. He is Chad Fitzpatrick. And now, Chad, the World Championships of Figure 8 bus racing on a Saturday night in Washington.
I cannot wait. I love buses.
You should see the World Championship trophy. It is like 13 inches tall. It is, it's the thing that you would want on your mantle more than anything else.
Of course.
It's amazing. This is not actually a World Championship. I just want to put that thing on it. This is the most fun segment that we get to have on the show. The buses are out there. This segment brought to you by Washington's Lottery. It's like winning the lottery when you get to race a bus out there. Created in 1982, Washington Lottery was established to generate revenues for the state programs throughout the sale of the lottery products. Powerball, Mega Millions, Lotto Hit 5, Match 4, and Daily Keno. It's Washington's Lotto Scratch games. They give players a choice of more than 30 games. A year to experience Washington's Lottery. Dream big. And someday when I win the lotto, Chad, team buses for both of us.
We'll have more than enough buses.
There's going to be an orange and yellow 12 bus, and there's going to be some weird numbered, like, lettered bus. It's not even going to have a number. It's going to be like the Ocho Cinco bus.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm into it. We're big there. So, the 78, that's one of the drivers. And the 24 is another one of the drivers. The 24 is actually a mystery driver, so we can call that whoever we want. That could be
anybody.
It could be Shaggy.
Okay.
It could be Scooby. It could be Fred.
Alrighty.
Any one of the Mystery Machine people. That could be it. That's going to go an indeterminate amount of laps on this as well. So kind of like whose line is it anyway? The laps are made up. The rules don't matter. It's going to be great. The small white bus, that's Brian Duncan. We know that for sure. The Timmy bus is supposed to be Tim Jacobson, but it's already stopped. So he broke his bus in hot laps. That's not good. The red, white, and blue is Jeff Ritter. Let's see. There's another bus kind of lingering around somewhere. Oh, yeah, that's the, what is that? Is that the other red, white, and blue? That's Michael Duncan, who was, like, pushing the Timmy bus around, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the pea shooter, that is Jay Van Buskirk. So that's
And I
the
believe
one.
he's the leader right now.
Is it?
Maybe.
Let's see. No, that's Duncan.
Oh, yep, there's...
Yeah, no,
There
okay.
they are.
All right. So, yeah, there's Van Buskirk in the van bus pushing around Timmy. And Timmy's trying. He's really trying. Oh. Did you ever have to compression start a car as a kid? Because that's
Yes.
kind of like that was, bus style.
And unfortunately, they failed. But that's okay.
That's all
You know
right.
what? And I think for what Jay was doing, I think we should give him a 2-lap head start for that.
Well, I think we can just put him artificially in the lead.
I think we will.
Yeah.
Jay Van Buskirk, your leader right now.
In the van bus.
And then right in front of our mystery driver, he's going to put him a lap down right now.
Yeah, mystery driver is not doing so great.
You know what?
Usually our flagman, Jonathan Peterson, is in one of these buses, but man, does he cheat in the buses.
Does he?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's weird. It's like he takes all of his latent aggression that he's got towards the race car drivers when he doesn't get to black flag them, and he puts it forward when he's in the bus. Whoa!
Oh, that was close.
Sideways! Look out! Red, white, and blue bus of doom. That's Duncan. Okay, so that's Duncan in that bus there. And then Ritter is that one right behind him right now. So,
Exactly. And we got
no,
the
look,
Van Buskirk almost got hit by a bus.
That was bad.
Yeah.
A Van Buskirk Van Bus crashing.
Yeah. And look at that rear tire spinning.
Did you notice that the doors are open on
Yeah.
these?
Gosh, I hope no one's in there with them.
Somebody could
Oh,
just,
my.
Yep, somebody could just jump into one of those buses at any point in time. That's weird. Somebody could go have themselves a joyride in a bus.
Well, Mike Buse was there, so he could have been in that bus with them.
I would not be surprised if Mike wouldn't try to pull one of those things off.
And it looks like that was close.
All right, we're okay.
So we're about, let's just say we're 2 laps into this.
Okay. Ish.
And we got Van Buskirk, we got Ritter. Let's say Ritter's the leader now.
You want to say that?
Yeah, I think he's the leader.
We
now.
can just artificially decide,
Yeah.
arbitrarily decide who the. Okay, I'm
because
good with
this
that.
never can happen, so we can make it up right now.
I'm disturbed at the fact that there are stuffed animals. There's like stuffies in that one bus.
Yeah.
And they could get crashed. We're gonna have crashed out stuffies.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Oh.
new leader. New leader.
New leader.
Red, white, and blue. That is actually Ritter now getting
Okay.
around
Oh.
the 78. We're the 3 wide.
Yeah, we're
three
wide.
wide bus racing.
So-
Look at this.
So with buses, so we're actually 6 wide.
Yes.
Yes, we're 6
I'm
wide.
game. The red, white, and blue bus actually has a door, but it's open.
Oh.
Do you see that?
Yes, I
Okay.
hope he doesn't fall out.
He's going to come around the north corner. Oh, God, corner, buddy. Turn.
Turn.
Big left. And see, the door's open.
Look at that.
He's dragging door.
Oh, my.
I wonder if they go through and, like, make shock and spring mods in these things.
I'm guessing they do.
It's gonna be a really
the
big
Bluebird
spring.
package.
They visited Joe's this week. And
Yes,
got their,
they did.
And got their bus tuned up.
Yep.
Around the corner, that is we can't. That's the little baby bus.
Yeah, the
by
baby
way.
bus.
Yeah, the old white. That's Brian Duncan. We can't say that it is a bus of a certain size.
Nope,
Do you
we're
know
not
what I'm?
going- yep,
no,
we're not gonna say
it's
that.
the little baby.
The baby bus.
Yes, and he makes little baby race car buses.
Exactly.
Yeah, little
And
baby.
he corners better than Jeff Ritter's car.
He
or
does.
bus, I should say.
Well, do any of them really corner well?
I don't think so.
It's questionable. Although they are faster than one of the figure eights.
Yes.
At least one.
Yes.
I'm not naming names.
Okay.
If I drove a figure eight, it would be faster than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next week, let's see you in a figure 8 car.
Oh, no, I'm retired.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I'm medically retired. Okay.
And the 24 now, Jeff. Let's say Jeff Gordon. He was 24.
Is that Jeff Gordon?
Yes.
I interviewed him once. He always wanted to drive buses.
All right. Well, next time they're out here, or the buses are out here, we need them out here.
I'll see what I'll call in a favor.
Okay.
They're side by side through the
Yeah.
intersection. That's scary.
Oh yeah.
They made it though. Could have been worse.
Look at
So
that.
we're an indeterminate amount of laps into this, and somebody's leading. We think that one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, there is no time limit on bus racing, by the way. We just let them go until we get tired.
Exactly.
Look at the it's like the hood is offset on that too.
Yeah.
It's either that or the hood is broken and we need more duct tape.
Yep. And is this gonna get close?
Look out, little baby! Little baby bus made a business decision there and didn't want to get colliding through the intersection, so he just hooked the left.
Exactly.
Little baby bus is now 15 laps down.
No harm, no foul.
I have decided 15 laps down. We want intersection.
Yes, we want a little bit of intersection action. Actually, a lot of intersection action.
His inability to either properly use the gas or brake to get through the intersection just cost him 15 laps.
Okay.
So we've got your leader. We know who that is. I think it's that one, the red, white, and blue. And then the little baby white bus is 15 laps down. He's last.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's even last to the Timmy bus that hasn't made a full lap.
Okay. So note
But if
to
he-
self, when
if-
you're a race director, do not race.
Yeah, that's a good plan. I told you the rules are made up in this.
Yep.
We can just artificially decide.
So Jeff Ritter is in command.
Yes, for sure.
Exactly. I believe second would probably be.
Oh, the 78.
Yeah.
He's doing intersection things. That's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
Mhm.
Is that? I think that's Duncan, isn't it?
I believe you're right. I
Okay.
believe that's Michael Duncan. Then we got.
Van Buskirk and the Van Bus of the Zero, right?
And that it looked like Jeff Ritter's doors actually almost coming off completely.
It's getting close. You think he's trying to knock that door off?
You know, he might. If he is able to get into one of the tires just barely, he'll fall right off.
He's been eyeballing some of those Ute tires. Those Ute tires take a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
Oh, look out.
Oh.
Well, got closer. They're stacked up like 3 wide there
Yeah.
for second-ish, whatever place that is.
Oh,
Around the corner.
my.
Oh, this is scary.
Oh, we're
he's
gonna
in.
spin.
Van Buskirk is Van Bussing around.
As he goes around.
Nice.
Taking the baby bus around.
Yeah, that's one of the Duncans. That's. Oh no. Oh no. It's
the baby
no,
bus.
it's pointing the wrong way in the intersection.
Oh, you better get going.
Look out! Beep beep. Choo
Oh,
choo.
uh-oh.
Oh, he got
Oh,
out.
no.
Oh,
Here
poop.
comes Duncan.
Oh, he made it. Oh, he
Oh,
almost
my.
did.
Here
But
comes Gordon.
Well, no, we're just adding him as an obstacle.
Yep, exactly.
Right. So now you got to get into the intersection. You got to swerve.
Are you going to give him a couple laps back?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
He's positive 10 laps now.
Okay,
Now he's
good.
only 5 laps down.
Okay.
And he won't follow down any further laps.
And here comes Buskirk. I believe he has a flat. Okay, maybe not. That was just some dirt.
But it's either that or he's slow.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, who are we
Both.
to say?
And the white flag.
One more bus time around.
And that looked like
Oh,
for Gordon.
he's trying to throw that.
He's trying.
It's almost there.
Uh-oh.
I just like the fact that we've added an obstacle right in the middle of the course.
Exactly. He's fine.
Perfect.
They know where he's at. If you can't see him, that's an issue then.
Well, I mean, they're doing 7 miles an hour.
Exactly.
If they can't avoid it at this point. All right. There we
So,
go.
I believe it was the 24 bus that took the white first, but we'll take a look.
Well.
Oh, nope, because they're still throwing it. It is Ritter.
Yep. Yeah, that mystery bus
Here
is
comes Ritter.
made many mystery laps.
And checkered flag to Mr. Jeff Ritter.
Bingo. Well done, Ritter. You are the winner-ish, I think.
Yeah.
And second is one of the drivers, and third is going to be
Another driver.
One of the, not the 24,
Not the 24.
and not the white bus.
Okay.
We'll give third to Timmy.
Okay.
He looked really good.
All right.
Like that bus sat there in our screen, never moving, and gave us the perfect look all race long.
Exactly.
And now look what they're going to do. They're going to be all sportsmanlike
Yeah.
and push each other off.
If that bus can do it. Maybe.
Well, all right.
Oh.
You're winning.
It's working.
They're trying. What's going on? Don't crash each other on the
Oh.
cool down lap, man. Oh, and look, they're going to push off the Timmy
Yeah,
bus.
look at that. Now, Jay's trying to help him now, too.
It's a bus train.
Yep.
You wanted train racing back,
Yeah,
you know?
yes.
We were doing it at slow speeds. I'm
Exactly.
sorry. Well, fun episode here of Home Track Heroes. We did a lot of cool stuff in this one. You got a little bit of everything. We ran the figure eights. We ran the buses. A incredibly fun series of circle track mains and one that had more drama than you could ever possibly ask for in
Exactly.
the Legends. It was a good time, Chad. And hey, next time on Home Track Heroes, you're going to be in the car in the Pro Late models.
Yes. Tune in. That'll be really fun. I'm hoping the weather will hold off for next Saturday.
75 lap A feature on deck, and be good to start the year with an actual feature win and be the points leader by yourself.
Exactly. That's the goal.
All right, so that's next week on Home Track Heroes. Joining the Pro Late models, you'll see mini stocks, outlaw figure eights, stinger eights, and hornets as well. The next time you can come to Evergreen Speedway, it is DriftCon and the big bounty tournament. A lot of interest coming in that. If you're into something a little bit different, we're going to air it here on the show in a couple of weeks as well. But DriftCon, Very, very cool. It is worth checking out for sure. 2 weeks after that, coming up on the 29th, the sprint cars make their season debut. We'll have the same street stocks going on. The super stock figure eight's going to be out there as well. That's going to be an awesome show. So make your plans to be there. And we want to thank you guys for joining us here on a Sunday night. Chad, this has been fun.
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
We will have you back later in the year, but go win this feature coming up. For everybody within on our production side, got to say a big thank you, of course, to Ghost Energy Drink, our nightly sponsor, and all of the class sponsors as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. For Chad Fitzpatrick, I am Caleb Hart. For the production team and the staff and management of Evergreen Speedway, thank you much for tuning in to Home Track Heroes here at Evergreen Speedway on the CW11. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.